You know the story. You probably know the quotes, maybe even seen a dozen versions of it.
Oh, absolutely. It's everywhere.
But today, we're going to try and set aside maybe the cozy feeling a bit
Right.
and really dig into Charles Dickens's 1843 novella, A Christmas Carol. It's more than just a festive tale.
It really is. You could argue it's one of the most effective bits of, well, social commentary ever written, cleverly wrapped up as a ghost story.
Yeah.
Dickens wasn't subtle about his goal, was he? He wanted to shock the system, wake up the wealthy folks in industrial England to their, well, their moral duties.
And he didn't call it a novel, did he? He called it something else.
No, that's right.
Oh,
He framed it quite deliberately as an attempt to raise the ghost of an idea.
the ghost of an idea. I like that.
Yeah, a spirit that would sort of haunt you, but in a good way. Haunt pleasantly, he said, and push people towards being kinder.
And the structure is interesting, too. It's this ghostly little book, like you said, but no chapters.
Nope. He uses staves. 5 of them.
Staves. Why staves?
Well, think about it. A save Dave is part of a song, a carol.
Ah, okay.
It gives the whole thing this musical feel, this rhythm, like something you'd remember, maybe tell around the fire. It's basically structured like a ballad,
Yeah.
a redemption song.
Moving from dark to light.
Exactly. From that really dark beginning with Marley's Ghost in Stave 1 all the way to the resolution in Stave 5, which he just calls the end of it.
Okay, so that's what we're doing today. We're going to unpack that whole structure. We want to get beyond just the plot summary you probably know.
Yeah, dig deeper.
We'll look at the text itself, why the characters do what they do, Dickens's writing style, and yeah, that really sharp social critique hiding in plain sight.
Sounds good.
We'll start spoiler-free, just setting the scene with Stave I and maybe the start of Stave 2 too, just to lay the groundwork.
And that groundwork starts with this almost like legalistic certainty. Dickens hits you with probably the most famous opening line ever.
Has to be.
Marley was dead to begin with. There's no doubt whatever about that.
It's so blunt, but necessary, right? He needs you to be absolutely sure Marley's dead for what comes next.
Absolutely. If there's any doubt, if Marley just had, I don't know, a bad case of indigestion,
Right.
then the whole ghost thing falls apart. It could just be Scrooge dreaming. So Dickens nails it down. The register signed, the clergyman, the clerk, the chief mourner. Scrooge signed it.
Scrooge himself, who, as Dickens tells us, was such a Scrooge about it.
He was a man of business on the very day of the funeral,
Wow.
and even solemnized it with an undoubted bargain. Any sense of grief, any human moment, just instantly flipped into a transaction.
Which leads right into painting this picture of Ebenezer Scrooge. And wow, Dickens does not hold back.
No, it's a masterclass, isn't it?
Yeah.
He just throws this barrage of negativity at you.
Yeah, the adjectives just keep coming.
A tight-fisted hand at the grindstone. Okay, fair enough. But then, those 7 verbs back to back.
Oh, yeah, let's hear him.
Squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old sinner.
Whew. You can almost hear the coins clinking, can't you? The scraping.
You really can. It's incredibly physical language.
And what I find fascinating is how Dickens links Scrooge's inner coldness to the actual weather, the world around him.
That's key. He's hard and sharp as flint,
Okay.
but then secret and self-contained and solitary as an oyster.
An oyster, locked up tight.
Exactly. And the cold isn't just outside. He carried his own low temperature always about with him.
It's like he generates the cold.
That's the brilliance of it.
Yeah.
The London fog, the biting wind, they're bad, sure, but Scrooge amplifies them. He iced his office in the dog days, Dickens says. The cold literally emanates from him.
To the point where even guide dogs avoid him.
Even the blind men's dogs. They'd pull their owners into doorways rather than make eye contact. He basically cultivates this isolation. He likes it.
So, okay, it's Christmas Eve, the stage is set, and then comes the first real clash. The warmth of humanity smacks right into Scrooge's icy world.
Enter Fred, the nephew, bursting in full of cheer. Merry Christmas!
And the Claff will reply,
Bah! Humbug.
of course. But Fred's response, his defense of Christmas, it's actually quite profound, isn't it? It's not just fluff.
Not at all. It's a core piece of the book's philosophy. Fred admits, look, Christmas never made me rich, never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket.
Right.
But, he argues, it's the one time of year people actually open their shut-up hearts freely. They see each other differently.
As fellow travelers.
Fellow passengers to the grave, he says, and not another race of creatures bound on other journeys. It's this plea for basic human connection over profit. That's the central conflict right there.
And then, immediately after Fred leaves, Scrooge gets another visitor, or rather two.
The charity gentleman. And this encounter, it's even more revealing. It shows the system behind Scrooge's personal meanness.
They're collecting for the poor who are having a terrible time.
A dreadful time. And Scrooge's reaction isn't just dismissive, it's pure, brutal Victorian economic theory.
He asked about the prisons and workhouses, right? Are they still going?
Yes. Are there no prisons? And the union workhouses, are they still in operation? As if those are acceptable solutions to poverty.
And then comes that infamous line.
The surplus population line. If the poor are struggling, they had better do it and decrease the surplus population.
Chilling. And that's not just Scrooge being nasty, is it? That's a specific reference.
It's a direct shot at Thomas Malthus and his theories. Malthus basically argued that population grows faster than food, so helping the poor charity was actually bad because it just prolonged suffering and strained resources. Let nature take its course, essentially.
So Scrooge isn't just a grumpy old miser. He's voicing this really harsh, politically charged philosophy that Dickens utterly rejected.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Dickens is setting him up as the embodiment of that cold, calculating worldview. A worldview so bleak, maybe only something supernatural can break through it.
Which brings us to the first hint of the supernatural. The door knocker.
Yeah, he gets home to his gloomy rooms, and suddenly the knocker isn't a knocker anymore. It's Marley's face.
Described so creepily, too.
Ghostly, with his dismal light like a bad lobster in a dark cellar. What a strange image.
A bad lobster. Only Dickens. He tries to shrug it off, though. Indigestion, maybe.
He tries. Bolts the door, checks the rooms, but then he hears it. The bells, then the dragging sound.
The chain. Coming up the stairs. Not just any chain, though.
No. It's the sound of industry, almost.
Grr.
Of commerce. And when Marley's ghost finally appears see-through, coattails flapping strangely, he's dragging this thing made of. Well, tell us.
Cash boxes, keys, padlocks, ledgers, deeds, and heavy purses wrought in steel. The actual tools of his trade.
Which is the perfect transition, really, into looking closely at these characters and the weight they carry.
Okay, let's talk about that chain. It's such a powerful image, isn't it? It perfectly captures the burden of that kind of life. How does Marley explain it?
Marley lays it out pretty clearly. Every spirit, he says, has to sort of walk among people, connect with them, and if you don't do that during your life, then you're condemned to do it after death. You have to wander through the world, watching all the good things you could have done, the happiness you might have shared, and turn to happiness. It's pure regret, the agony of missed chances.
And it's his own fault. He made the chain himself.
Completely self-inflicted. I wear the chain I forged in life, he says. I made it link by link and yard by yard. I girded it on of my own free will, and of my own free will, I wore it.
Wow. Every bad deal, every ignored plea for help. Another link.
Every single time he prioritized profit over people, basically. And the real kicker for Scrooge, Marley tells him that Scrooge's own chain, invisible until now, was just as heavy, just as long, 7 years ago when Marley died.
So Scrooge has been adding to his own massive chain for 7 whole years without even realizing it. That's terrifying.
It is. And Scrooge, still trying to find some justification in his old worldview, says something like, "But Jacob, you were always a good man of business."
Right, clinging to that definition.
And Marley's response is just. It's the absolute core message of the book. He cries out, wringing his spectral hands.
What does he say?
Business. Mankind was my business. The common welfare was my business. Charity, mercy, forbearance, and benevolence were all my business.
So that's the real business.
Exactly. The dealings of my trade, he says, the money stuff, that was just a drop of water in the comprehensive ocean of my business. Dickens is completely flipping the script on what business means. It's not about finances, it's about humanity.
And that's why Marley's there, to give Scrooge a chance.
A chance and hope, Marley calls it, that he arranged. The visit of the three spirits.
It's a gift, sort of, but a scary one.
Definitely. And Scrooge, ever the pragmatist, immediately asks if he can just, get them all over with at once.
Huh. Like scheduling a meeting. Can we bundle these ghosts?
Right. He still sees redemption as just another unpleasant task to tick off the list. Efficiently, of course.
But no, he has to go through the whole process, starting with the first spirit, Stave 2.
The ghost of Christmas past. And what a strange figure this is.
Yeah, describe it. It's hard to picture.
Dickens makes it sound almost paradoxical. It's like an old man, but somehow also like a child.
Old but small.
Yeah, like a child. Yet, not so like a child as like an old man, viewed through some supernatural medium which gave him the appearance of having receded from the view and being diminished to a child's proportions. White hair, but a smooth young face. It flickers, shifts.
That's quite a contrast. What does that represent, do you think?
Well, memory itself, maybe. It's ancient, something from long ago, but it can feel immediate, fresh, even tender, like childhood feelings resurfacing in old age.
And the light, the bright jet of light from its head.
Ah, yes. The light of truth, perhaps,
Yeah.
innocence, pure memory, and it carries this extinguisher cap, like a candle snuffer.
Which Scrooge eventually tries to use on it.
He does, desperately, when the memories get too painful. And the spirit basically implies that Scrooge's own choices, his adult passions, are what made the cap necessary, what forces the spirit to carry it. Scrooge is trying to snuff out the truth of his own past.
So where does the spirit take him first?
Back to his childhood, to the lonely schoolhouse. It's holiday time, everyone else has gone home, but young Ebenezer is still there, alone, reading.
Why start there, with that isolation?
To show us the roots, maybe? He wasn't born this way. He was a solitary boy, maybe neglected. And seeing himself finding comfort in books, in fictional characters, Ali Baba, Robinson Crusoe, shows he had this capacity for imagination, for connection.
It clearly hits Scrooge hard. He starts crying.
He does. And it's not just sadness, it's recognition. He feels something again, and immediately that feeling connects to a present regret. There was a boy singing a Christmas carol at my door last night. I should like to have given him something. That's all. The past instantly informs the present.
Then comes his sister, Fan.
Little Fan. She bursts in full of joy, this delicate creature. She's come to take him home.
Because father is kinder now.
So much kinder than he used to be, that home's like heaven, she says. She's pure, uncomplicated love, rescuing him from solitude.
But there's sadness there too, isn't there? The ghost reminds him.
Reminds him that Fan died young, died a woman, and had children.
One child, the ghost specifies.
His nephew Fred.
The same Fred he just threw out of his office for wishing him a Merry Christmas. Ouch.
Exactly. It connects his current coldness directly back to the loss of the one person who showed him pure affection. The emotional stakes are getting higher.
But then there's a moment of real joy, right? Fezziwig's party.
Oh, Fezziwig, yes. This is Dickens showing the alternative. The good boss. The positive model of how business could be run.
He describes it with such energy. Scrooge and the other apprentice, Dick Wilkins, clearing the warehouse for the party.
Shaking hands with every person individually, Fezziwig beaming, the music, the dancing. It's pure, unadulterated joy and community happening right there in the workplace.
And Scrooge gets caught up in it, defending Fezziwig unconsciously.
He does. The spirit questions Fezziwig's value. He has spent but a few pounds. Is that so much that he deserves this praise? And Scrooge leaps to his defense.
What does he say?
He says Fezziwig's power isn't just money. It lies in words and looks, in things so slight and insignificant that it is impossible to add and count them up. What then? The happiness he gives is quite as great as if it cost a fortune.
Wow. So Scrooge knows this. He knows what makes a good leader, what creates happiness.
He knew it as an apprentice, and the realization hits him immediately. He murmurs, I should like to be able to say a word or two to my clerk just now, that's all.
He's thinking of Bob Cratchit. He sees the contrast.
He sees exactly how far he's fallen from that ideal, how easily he could be Fezziwig to Bob.
But the spirit isn't done twisting the knife. It has to show him why he changed.
Which brings us to Belle, the fiancée, the emotional heart of the matter.
This is the golden idol scene, right? She's breaking off the engagement.
She is. Gently, sadly, but firmly. She tells him, another idol has displaced me.
Money.
Gain. A golden one, she calls it. She sees that his very nature has changed. He's become consumed by the fear of poverty, yes, but more than that, by the pursuit of wealth.
She says his nobler aspirations have fallen away.
Fallen off one by one, until the master passion, gain, engrosses you. She knows that even if they had met now, when he's more established, he wouldn't choose her, a dowerless girl. He'd weigh her worth in money.
He tries to argue, doesn't he? Says the world is harsh.
He does. He talks about wanting to be beyond the chance of its sordid reproach. But she sees through it. It's not just about security anymore. It's about accumulation. Gain is his new love.
And then the final vision with her, years later.
Years later, he sees Belle, happy, surrounded by a noisy, loving family. Exactly the kind of warmth and connection he chose to abandon.
And her husband mentions seeing Scrooge.
Yes, briefly. Saw him in his office window. His partner lies dying, I hear. There he sat alone, quite alone in the world, I do believe.
Alone. That word again.
That's the final blow. Scrooge can't take it anymore. Spirit, remove me from this place. He begs, struggles, and finally grabs the extinguisher cap.
Tries to put out the light.
Tries to suppress the truth, the memory, the pain. But you can't extinguish the past. It just plunges him into darkness, ready for the next stage.
You know, the impact of those scenes, those memories, it's not just what happens, it's how Dickens tells it. His writing style is just so present.
Oh, absolutely. He's right there with you, isn't he?
Yeah.
That narrative voice is key.
He keeps addressing the reader directly. Mind, I don't mean to say that I know of my own knowledge. Things like that.
Or, you will therefore permit me to repeat.
It creates this immediate, almost conspiratorial relationship. The narrator feels like a friend telling you a story, guiding you along.
Yeah, a friendly, trustworthy guide, which is such a stark contrast to Scrooge himself, locked away in his oyster shell.
Exactly. The warmth and engagement of the narration constantly highlights Scrooge's coldness and isolation. The narrator embodies the very connection Scrooge rejects. And this voice really shapes the world building, too. Think about Stave I again, the atmosphere.
The fog. It's not just weather. It's practically a character in itself.
Palpable brown air, he calls it. So thick it seeps under doors, through keyholes. It's oppressive.
It's the perfect externalization of Scrooge's internal state, right? His murky, cold, suffocating spirit made visible.
And that image of the church bell in the fog.
Oh, brilliant.
Ugh.
Striking the hours up in the clouds and the sound vibrating afterwards, as if its teeth were chattering in its frozen head.
He makes the whole city feel cold and miserable, reflecting Scrooge.
But even within that gloom, Dickens cleverly weaves in these little sparks of warmth, doesn't he?
Yeah, the shops still look bright. There's holly.
People shoveling snow cheerfully, bell ringers practicing. It shows that the Christmas spirit is out there, fighting against the fog, even if Scrooge refuses to see it.
It underlines that Scrooge's misery is a choice. He's actively resisting the potential joy around him.
And then, bam, Stave the Third hits. And the ghost of Christmas Present just blows that scarcity mindset completely out of the water.
The transformation of Scrooge's own room, it's incredible.
It becomes this grotto of abundance. Forget the cold gloom. Now it's decked with living green, holly, mistletoe, ivy, and the food?
Oh, the food, it's piled everywhere.
Turkeys, geese, joints of meat, sucking pigs, oysters, pies, puddings, fruit, punch. It's almost overwhelming. The ghost itself is sitting on a throne made of this stuff.
It's the complete opposite of Scrooge's world. Abundance, life, generosity.
And the spirit himself embodies it. A jolly giant, big booming voice wearing a simple green robe, his chest bare. Open, generous, welcoming. No tight fists here.
And when they go out into the streets, the whole feeling changes from Stave I.
The sounds change. Not dismal foghorns, but the brisk and not unpleasant kind of music from snow shovels. The shops are overflowing, a glorious pageant.
Dickens really lingers on the food descriptions again, doesn't he? The poulterers, the grocers.
Because sharing food, enjoying abundance together, is a fundamental part of community and celebration. He wants you to almost taste it. The pot-bellied baskets of chestnuts, the Spanish onions like fat Spanish friars, it makes the spirit of generosity feel tangible, real, delicious.
And the ghost uses its torch.
Sprinkles incense from it onto people's dinners, especially the poor ones being carried to the baker's ovens. A little blessing. Why? Because it needs it most. Directing kindness where it's most lacking.
And this abundance, this spirit, it's not just confined to London, is it? The ghost makes a point of showing Scrooge that.
Crucial point. He whisks Scrooge off to these remote, desolate places to show that human connection and cheer persist even in the toughest circumstances.
Like the miners on the moor.
Yeah, living in a rough hut on this bleak landscape, but they're gathered around a fire singing, happy together.
And the lighthouse keepers.
Two men, totally isolated on a dismal reef of sunken rocks, sharing their grog, wishing each other Merry Christmas over the roar of the storm.
And the sailors on the ship.
Far out at sea, every man on board, humming a Christmas tune or having a Christmas thought, sharing memories.
So the message is that connection is possible anywhere.
Exactly. If these people in the middle of nowhere facing real hardship can find joy and community, then Scrooge's isolation in the bustling city of London is entirely, utterly his own damn fault. He's chosen darkness when light is available everywhere.
Which makes the next scene, the visit to the Cratchits, even more powerful, because they are surrounded by potential warmth, but held back by Scrooge's coldness.
Right, the Cratchits. They're really the heart of Stave the Third, aren't they? We finally see the human cost of Scrooge's business practices. Bob Cratchit's salary.
15 shillings a week. Bob Shilling, some call clerks like him.
Yeah,
It's barely enough to survive, keeping his large family right on the edge.
Yet, when Scrooge and the ghost arrive, the mood isn't misery. It's something else.
It's resilience. It's making the absolute best of very little. Mrs. Cratchit and the girls are described as being brave in ribbons.
Brave in ribbons. What does that mean? It means they've used cheap bits of ribbon to try and make their worn-out dresses look festive. It's a small act of defiance against poverty, trying to create beauty and cheer with almost nothing. The whole atmosphere is like that, chaotic maybe, but full of love and effort.
And the celebration around the goose and the pudding.
Oh, it's wonderful. Everyone knows the goose isn't really big enough and the pudding is small, but they make this huge performance out of praising it, pretending it's a magnificent feast. They're celebrating the idea of abundance, the spirit of the thing, even if the reality is meager.
Except Mrs. Cratchit has a moment of bitterness towards Scrooge.
She does. When Bob proposes a toast to Mr. Scrooge, the founder of the feast, she lets loose. Calls him an odious, stingy, hard, unfeeling man. She knows exactly who's responsible for their struggles. Bob, bless him, tries to smooth it over.
And all this is overshadowed by Tiny Tim.
Tiny Tim, the emotional core, his little crutch, the iron frame on his leg. His physical weakness is obvious, but his spirit,
He's incredibly good, isn't he?
unfailingly so. Dickens uses him as the direct counter-argument to Scrooge's surplus population idea. Remember Bob's story about Tim in church?
Oh, yeah. Tell us that again.
Bob recounts, his voice trembling a bit, how Tim hoped people saw him because he was crippled, and might be pleasant to them to remember upon Christmas Day who made lame beggars walk and blind men see.
Wow. Turning his own disability into a reminder of Christ's miracles and compassion. That's profound for a little kid.
It is. He embodies grace and hope in the face of suffering, everything Scrooge lacks despite his wealth.
But then the ghost drops the bombshell.
Yeah. Scrooge, actually showing some concern now, asks if Tim will live. And the ghost is blunt. I see a vacant seat in the poor chimney corner and a crutch without an owner, carefully preserved. If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child will die.
That must hit Scrooge hard.
It seems to. He begs the spirit. No, no, oh no, kind spirit, say he will be spared. He's starting to feel empathy.
And how does the spirit respond?
With devastating precision. He throws Scrooge's own words right back in his face. What then? If he be like to die, he better do it and decrease the surplus population.
Oof. Hearing his own callous words applied to this innocent child.
It's a brutal but necessary lesson. Dickens forces Scrooge and the reader to see the direct human consequence of that cold economic philosophy. The ghost even challenges Scrooge's arrogance, asking why he, this insect on the leaf, gets to decide who is surplus and who isn't.
But the ghost has one more shock before it leaves, doesn't it? Something emerges from its robes.
The final, terrifying reveal. 2 children. Not cherubs, though. These are horrifying.
Describe them.
Wretched, abject, frightful, hideous, miserable. They are yellow, meager, ragged, scowling, wolfish, almost inhuman.
And the ghost gives them names.
Yes. They are man's children, he says. This boy is ignorance. This girl is want. Symbolic representations of the social evils plaguing Victorian society.
Ignorance and want. And the ghost warns Scrooge to beware them both.
But most of all, beware this boy. Ignorance. For on his brow I see that written, which is doom, unless the writing be erased.
Why is ignorance worse than want? Why is he doom?
Well, want, poverty, hunger, that's a physical problem. It's terrible, but potentially solvable with resources, charity, better systems. But ignorance, an uneducated, uninformed population. That's the seed of social breakdown.
Like, it leads to worse problems.
Exactly. Ignorance breeds crime, unrest, susceptibility to bad ideas, maybe even revolution. Dickens saw it as the root cause that could lead to societal doom for everyone, rich and poor alike. It's a powerful plea for education and enlightenment, not just handouts.
And Scrooge asks if they have anywhere to go, any refuge.
And the spirit hits him with his own words one last time, mocking his earlier callousness. Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses?
Devastating. And then the ghost is gone.
Leaving Scrooge alone in the darkness, facing the arrival of the final visitor.
The ghost of Christmas yet to come. The scary one.
The terrifying one. It's described as a phantom, draped and hooded in black, concealing its face and form. Utterly silent.
Why silent? The others talked.
The silence is part of the terror, isn't it? There's no discussion, no negotiation with this ghost. It simply points. It shows Scrooge the consequences, the potential end result of his current path. The future isn't fixed, maybe, but this is where the road is leading. The silence forces Scrooge to interpret, to narrate his own doom.
And he says he fears this spirit most.
He does. I fear you more than any specter I have seen. Where does it take him first?
To the London Stock Exchange, the Change, where businessmen are talking.
Yeah, a group of his old associates, they're discussing someone's death. But it's all incredibly trivial, isn't it?
Completely callous. They're wondering if anyone will go to the funeral. I don't mind going if a lunch is provided. They call it a very cheap funeral.
Yeah.
No sadness, no respect, just cold calculation.
Scrooge listens, wondering who died, looking for himself in the scene. But he's not there. Someone else is in his usual spot. He's already forgotten, replaced.
It shows the utter meaninglessness of his life in their eyes, despite his wealth.
All that striving for financial standing, and this is the result. Indifference. But the real horror comes next, doesn't it? The scene in the rag and bone shop.
Oh, old Joe's place. Yeah, this is dark. Really dark.
It's genuinely disturbing. There's the charwoman, the laundress, and the undertaker's man all gathered around old Joe, the fence, and they're selling things they've stolen.
Stolen from the dead man. Scrooge's things, though he doesn't know it yet.
Exactly. Bed curtains, blankets, clothes. And then the charwoman pulls out the final, most shocking item.
His shirt. The shirt he was meant to be buried in.
She took it right off the corpse. They'd have wasted it if it hadn't been for me, she says, justifying it because calico ain't good enough for such a purpose. It's the ultimate act of disrespect, of dehumanization.
And they justify it because he was such a horrible man.
A wicked old screw, they call him. They felt he deserved it because he alienated everyone in life. His own coldness invited this final violation. The lack of humanity shown to him mirrors the lack he showed others.
Then the spirit takes him to the deathbed itself.
A dark room, a bare bed with no curtains, and the body lying there under a sheet, unwatched, unwept, uncared for, plundered and alone.
And Scrooge can't bring himself to look at the face.
He knows. He understands. He even says it himself. Avarice, hard-dealing, griping cares, they have brought him to a rich end, truly. He sees the utter bankruptcy of his life's pursuit. Wealth means nothing here.
But before the final reveal, the ghost shows him one more scene related to the death, a contrasting scene.
Yes, a quiet scene of grief, back at the Cratchit's house. But it's subdued now.
Tiny Tim's seat is empty.
It is. Tim has died in this version of the future. Bob comes home, trying to be cheerful for the others, but clearly heartbroken. They talk about Tim, how patient and mild he was.
Their grief is real, full of love and memory, the total opposite of the reaction to the other death.
And even in their sadness, their family bond feels stronger. They remember Tim's goodness. And significantly, Bob mentions meeting Scrooge's nephew, Fred.
What about Fred?
Bob says Fred expressed sincere condolences, offered help if needed, showed extraordinary kindness. A little detail, but it shows Fred actively living out that mankind is my business principle, that Scrooge rejected. Kindness continues, even around the edges of Scrooge's lonely death.
Finally, the graveyard.
The neglected churchyard. Weeds everywhere. The phantom points to one grave. Scrooge, absolutely desperate now, pleads with the spirit. He needs to know if this has to happen.
Are these the shadows of the things that will be, or are they shadows of things that may be only? That's the crucial question, isn't it? Can he change?
He's begging for hope, for agency. He promises to change. Tell me I may sponge away the writing on this stone. And then he looks.
And the name is?
Ebenezer Scrooge.
That's the breaking point.
Complete breakdown. He collapses, clutches at the phantom's robe, sobbing. I am not the man I was. I will honor Christmas in my heart. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. He makes the vow, accepts the lessons.
And the phantom.
It seems to waver, maybe even show pity, and then it shrinks, collapses, and dwindles down into a bedpost, his own bedpost.
He's back in his room. The ordeal is over. But the choice is made. Hashtag V, the end of it. Stay V, and then stay 5, the end of it. He wakes up, and it's pure, unadulterated joy.
Like a pressure valve has been released. He realizes the night is over, the future isn't set in stone, the time before him was his own to make amends in.
The language completely changes. All that cold, hard imagery is gone. Now he's
As light as a feather, I am as happy as an angel, I am as merry as a schoolboy, I am as giddy as a drunken man. It's physical. Right. He's laughing, crying, his voice is choked up. He throws open the window.
Checks the date with a boy in the street.
Finds out it's Christmas Day. The spirits did it all in one night. Hello, whoop, hello here. He's ecstatic.
And he doesn't just sit there feeling happy. He acts immediately.
That's critical, isn't it? The change isn't just internal feeling, it's immediate external action. First things first. Fix the Cratchit's Christmas.
The giant turkey.
Yes. He sees the prize turkey hanging in the poulterer's shop, the one he probably sneered at the day before, tells the boy to go buy it, pays for it, pays for a cab to send it anonymously to Bob Cratchit's.
And he chuckles, it's twice the size of Tiny Tim.
A direct reversal of the scarcity and potential tragedy he witnessed. He's instantly applying the lesson of generosity.
Then he goes out. And who does he run into?
One of the portly gentlemen, the charity collectors from the day before, the very man he insulted.
And now?
He practically runs at him, apologizes profusely, grabs his hand, and whispers a donation amount in his ear. An amount so large, the man is stunned.
And Scrooge makes a point of including back payments.
A great many back payments are included in it, I assure you. He's actively making up for years of neglect, not just giving for today. He's atoning.
Okay, so charity's covered. What's the third big action?
Family. He heads straight for his nephew Fred's house, the place he refused to go just yesterday.
Does he knock nervously?
He walks in hesitantly, but Fred, bless him, welcomes him instantly. Hardly. No questions asked, no judgment, just pure acceptance.
So Fred lives up to his principles, too.
Completely. Scrooge joins the party, plays the games, laughs. He fully embraces the human connection he'd shut out for so long. He reconnects with his only family.
So he's fixed the poverty angle, the charity angle, the family angle. But there's one more crucial relationship to mend.
The employer-employee relationship. Bob Cratchit.
Right. So the next morning, Boxing Day, Scrooge gets to the office early.
Sets a trap. Makes the fire extra big, sits there waiting, pretending to be his old self.
And Bob comes skidding in late.
18.5 minutes late.
Yeah.
He's terrified, stammering apologies, knows he's probably going to be fired after enjoying that mysterious giant turkey.
And Scrooge plays along for a second.
Yeah, growls at him. What do you mean by coming here at this time of day? Step this way, sir, if you please.
Bob thinks this is it.
And then the twist.
And therefore, Scrooge says, barely keeping a straight face, I'm about to raise your salary. Bob must have nearly fainted.
He thinks Scrooge has gone mad. Scrooge has to reassure him he's serious. And it's not just the money.
No.
He promises to help Bob's family, discusses his affairs with him, tells him to make up the fires and buy another coal scuttle before you dot another I, Bob Cratchit. He's instantly changing the conditions of work, making it warm, supportive. He's becoming Fezziwig.
So the change is complete, and it sticks.
Dickens makes that very clear. Scrooge was better than his word. He did everything he promised and more. He became a friend, a mentor.
And Tiny Tim.
Tiny Tim, crucially, did not die. Scrooge became like a second father to him.
So he fulfills the potential he saw with the ghosts.
Absolutely. He becomes as good a friend, as good a master, and as good a man as the good old city knew. Dickens even adds that little joke at the end.
About the ghosts.
Yeah, some people laughed at the change in him, but Scrooge didn't care. He lived upon the total abstinence principle ever afterwards. And it was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas well. He didn't need any more spirits. The lesson was learned.
And the final words of the book?
Belonged to Tiny Tim, summing up the entire moral journey, the hope, the connection. God bless us, everyone. #Steeled6 outro.
So when you really break it down like that, stave by stave, the power of what Dickens built is just immense, isn't it?
It really is. It's such a tightly constructed argument wrapped in this incredibly moving story. The core message just slams home. Human connection, kindness, empathy, that's the real wealth, not the gold in your counting house.
Marley's line really is the key, isn't it? Mankind was my business. Everything else flows from that redefinition.
Definitely. And the whole journey Scrooge takes is designed to hammer that home, to make him feel the consequences of ignoring it. Seeing ignorance and want, seeing his own lonely grave. It's an education through sheer emotional force.
You know, something you mentioned earlier about the ghost of Christmas present, its lifespan.
Yeah. It was very brief. My life upon this globe is very brief. It ends tonight.
Right. And Scrooge noticed that the whole experience, past, present, future, seemed compressed. It all happened basically in one night.
Yeah, the text says the holidays seemed condensed into the space of time they passed together.
So Scrooge has been building this chain, this negative character for decades, right? Since his youth.
Easily. Decades of habit, of isolation, of prioritizing gain.
Yet the transformation, the complete irreversible change happens overnight, in a matter of hours, really.
It does. The lessons are that potent, the confrontation that direct.
Which raises kind of an interesting question, doesn't it? For us, for you listening, we usually think of major personal change, moral growth, as this long, slow, gradual process. Years of therapy, small steps, incremental improvements.
Right, we assign this linear time frame to it. You have to work at it for ages.
But Dickens seems to be suggesting something else here, that maybe if the insight is powerful enough, if confrontation with the truth of your own life, your own potential doom, is stark enough.
The genuine lasting transformation can happen in a moment, like a switch flipping.
Yeah. Is it the duration of the effort that counts? Or the intensity and honesty of the realization?
That's a fascinating thought. It challenges us maybe not to just chip away slowly at our faults, but to really confront the core issues head on. To ask ourselves, right now, what is the nature of my chain? What am I forging, link by link, with my choices today?
If your priorities, your daily business, became the weight you carried, what would that chain look like? Is it cash boxes and ledgers, or is it something else? Is it heavy, or is it maybe like fezziwigs made of something lighter?
A challenging question to leave folks with. What is your real business?
A very profound thought from a ghostly little book.